Bucks,
Yep,
what is this last thing you put in chat?
I was continuing Shades thing.
Right, it's not for us to decide.
No, in Roll20 chat.
Oh.
Our party goals, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought this was like a launching point.
That was
I was
from,
like, I was
last
having
week.
trouble understanding that.
No,
Yeah, I was just copy pasting the PDF stuff.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. Alright. So last time, you guys talked with
Martinus.
well, yes.
No, Martinus was the captain.
Yes. You talked with the Lord Veritan.
Yeah.
And he basically voluntold you that you're now working for him. He wants to he kindly asked you all to go to the Dauntless Halls, which is the Conclave Hall or the Conclave building, and do what he cannot, which is try and actually investigate the Conclave members and figure out which of them, if any, are Nurgle cultists. As he has strong suspicions that they were, and the fact that you brought a councilman's brooch or a council person's brooch with a Nurgle symbol engraved on the back of it to him, he believes that it is without a shadow of a doubt that one of them is working, or rather one of them is a cultist. And he wants you to find out who. He's deferred to Martinus to prep you for your mission, and saw himself out. I forget. He also made a deal with you, Joe? I believe.
Yeah.
So about the family, he wants to find his father's or mother, right?
Parents.
Yeah, she wanted to know about her brother and father who used to be town guard. And he said, sure, then that will be your payment.
Right, he said, like, do this deal and then you got it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and besides that, he told you all to go, essentially wait in the mess hall until Martinus is, fully prepped and ready to send you on your way. And I believe that's where we left off, actually. Right with that. So, you all find yourselves starting up. You all find yourselves sitting in the mess hall. Bagoosh, you have a big platter in front of you that they're willing to serve you basically what is rations fit for a Stormcast Eternal, which is a lot.
Pigeons, really, but
well, it's a lot for a normal individual, but for you, this is nothing.
I've never been so hungry.
And the rest of you have your share of whatever foodstuffs you might fancy. So there's various in-world equivalents to like beef and pork and the like. Your various brews, certain kinds. Your beers, your stouts. Not really much of a vegetarian option though. So if
I'm a
you're
vegetarian.
looking for a vegetarian option, not really much of that. They don't really believe in vegetarian options in Valhalla, right? So this is a bit of a meat lovers only.
Do you eat?
No. I just judge people for what they eat.
He can imitate eating.
So yeah, you guys are found out here with whatever you need, whatever you're looking for before your mission. You're surrounded by a couple of other groups. They're chattering. You see some Heldenhammer, the black and gold armored Stormcast. They're sitting at a table. No one is talking. They're all just eating and drinking. You see some others, a more rowdy bunch. The traditional standard raiments. They're blue and gold. Like I said, a rowdy bunch. A couple of them just toasting and just conversing.
Are these people like us, like adventurers, or are they part of the group? Like, are they part of the...
No. These are like
Stormcast.
7 foot tall, 8 foot tall stormcasters.
Okay. So these are not adventurers. These are these are people who should be.
Yeah, these are big people. Not like big, like sturdy bark, but probably like Bagoosh's height. You know, they can like look at Bagoosh. Maybe they're a little under his chin. You know,
They may look at me.
Gaze upon me.
I will allow it.
and yeah, you have your different takes here. The silent types, the very serious types, and then just your what looks like a group of friends, just laughing, chuckling, eating.
Do I recognize any of them as the one who escorted me, Bagoosh, and Sturdy Bark from Red Leaf's thing, or no?
You wouldn't.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
No, but to Joe and Shaydell, one of the people who's conversing at the jolly table, let's call it, is the Stormcast Eternal, the individual who let them in. She's at that table, eating and drinking.
Wait, the one with the golden eyes?
The woman let you in, right? Or no, it was the one with the other group.
Yeah, we had. I don't know if it was a woman or.
You
not,
had the gold. Yeah, you had the gold. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So Loris, you recognize the woman who let you in.
Sorry, was she the one who at the place was like, "You gotta come for interrogation," or is this not that person?
It was a person who led you in from your carriage.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to do anything. I just want to know if they were here.
Yep. And after a brief period of time of just sitting here, getting your fill, you see the Heldenhammer group. They stand up and they kind of walk out in their single file, and the group that was jolly, sitting and drinking and eating, they wipe their mouths and they stand up and stumble on out of the mess hall, and you're all alone in here, and you have to sit in here for just what seems like another like 40-ish minutes or so, just sitting, waiting, eating, conversing amongst yourselves, etc. And then you see I guess we could say a not so friendly face, or not so friendly visage appear in the doorway to the hall, and shouts. You hear a voice shout out to you saying, "All right, I'm ready for you. Let's head on out."
Is this the guy?
You hear Martinus's voice echo through the halls.
Is he the one I tried to make cry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that was banging his head on the wall.
Good. I will. Let's go. Our friend needs us.
No. I get up and say, that's not for you to decide.
So as you leave the hall, Martinus waits for you outside, and he directs you towards what looks like an armored like carriage.
The coach, perhaps?
Yes, a coach, drawn by two very large griffhounds, and he says, "All right, get in. You get to ride in the you get to ride in the front this time." See, he laughs a little bit. He says, well, "Come on in."
I'm giving the Griffhounds bellies.
They're loving it. They're panting. That one of them rolls over to receive more bellies.
Get all my branches, like just it's the full experience.
This is what they've been waiting for all their lives. A full experience.
I'm just ignoring Martinus.
Okay, they're pulling this coach?
They're very large.
Oh, they are huge. They're like horse size.
I'm gonna go to Martinus and be like, I apologize for my tree friend. He doesn't quite know social norms. Those are working animals. You can't disturb them while they're working. And I look over as he's giving them bellies.
They're like letting out squawks. Martinus looks at you, he's like, I mean, we don't really have all day. They're going to convene the council. They're going to convene a meeting, and he kind of like looks up at the sky. I think around like 45 minutes or so, they're going to convene a session. So we got to get you in there.
Wait, what are we going? What are we
We're
supposed
going to the conclave.
I will brief you. He holds up a he holds up like a parcel. He like hits it with his other hand. He's like, I have your briefing right here. I didn't make copies, so I will be holding on to it. So you better take good notes.
I will look to anyone who's not me to take notes. I'll look around.
Don't worry about it. We'll tell you what to do.
Where am I sitting in this coach?
Tapping the side of her head.
You're riding on top.
Martinus kind of looks at you. He's like, this is a problem, actually.
I mean, he fit in the other one.
Yeah,
that was like a prison wagon.
That was like a
prison wagon. This is smaller. He looks at you. He's like, can you like kneel? Like he kind of like puts himself like almost in like this weird like fetalish position, but he can't really get into one because of his armor. And he's like, can you like scrunch up and sit in near the back?
You're not gonna like what's gonna happen.
He looks at you. He's like, probably.
Can't wait for you to rock the coach.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go try to squeeze myself into the back of this coach.
Upon you all getting in, he tells the driver to get on with it, and you hear the reins get cracked, and you start moving. So Martinus looks over at all of you and says, "Okay. Now I know we got off on a rocky start, but if you're working with the Lord Veritant, then you have my full attention to assist you in any way possible. Now, here's the Lord Veritant asked me to get red prepped for you. As he stated, you are asked to infiltrate, and well, not so much infiltrate, but use your already existing, let's say, relationship with Councilwoman. He looks down at the dossier. Hassan. To, well, essentially go throughout this conclave chamber and spot out a person of interest. Find anyone who might be, I don't know, acting suspicious, acting with ill intentions towards Anvilgard, someone who might be holding up repairs, holding their own personal well-being before that of the city, etc., etc., etc. Whatever might be come off as suspicious in your eyes. And I guess what we would ask is for you to flag them, quote unquote, to us. Give us some information on who we need to go after, descriptions, where their office is within the building. If you find anything of interest, armed guards that are with them, can we go in and just arrest them? So on and so forth. And anything that will assist in a seamless arrest.
Okay.
Am I going too fast?
No, I mean,
yes,
basically you're
quite
asking us to
standard.
snoop around and look for suspicious persons.
No. Well, no. Snooping around means I hope you wouldn't get caught. He points over at Bagoosh and Sturdy Bark. I know
Okay.
you're going to get caught.
Okay, pardon me. Snoop around, and if we get caught, we're not going to be covered.
Can we? Are people allowed to know we're working for you, or is this a hush hush?
We do not tell anyone that we're
I
working
would
for them.
recommend you not mention that.
Is
Why?
Kassan a bad person?
Probably not, but there are bad people in the council chamber, probably, and we're trying to figure out who they are, so we don't want to let everyone know that we're working for the Lord Veritant.
You work for Councilwoman Kassan. You do not work for the Lord Veritant. Because if you work for the Lord Veritant and not Councilwoman Kassan, or both even, well, I guess the chicken's gonna flee the coop, right? We're gonna lose the element of surprise here. So he looks around. He's like, it seems like it might be pretty easy for some of you. He looks at Bagoosh, kind of like looks at Joe, looks at Loris a bit. It's like some of you to come off as, I don't know, unsavory types. You know, like you're more in the underworld a little bit. You aren't like the entirely law-abiding citizens, right? You might come off as someone who might take an illegal job or something. I'm sure you could figure out how to finagle your way in there and get on their good sides and give us some good reason to go in there, swords up, hammers out, and ready to make a couple of arrests. Yeah.
Sure.
I resent that accusation.
I was
I'll
just gonna
have you
say,
know.
my people are good people.
Bagoosh
I didn't
has
point it
only
either.
ever eaten people when he was given explicit permission by the Ether Chemist Guild.
Yes,
they
I've
deserve
only
it.
ever eaten people.
Now, how bad would it be if we take matters into our own hands? Like, you can't get here in time, or we are somewhere, where you can't really help us, and we kind of need to take things into our own hands.
He sits there. He's like, I mean,
How bad would it be for us to take matters into our own
I
hands?
think it depends on who we anger.
Well, what you're doing and who we're going at.
well,
Do I get to eat?
they're going to likely confiscate your weapons upon entering the building. And then he looks
I am a weapon.
And let's say he looks at Sturdy Bark and he's like, and Bagoosh, he's like, I think both of them are technically their own weapons.
And they
what do you
can't
think
really.
storm gas tastes like?
Confiscated?
They also can't disarm me.
I'm gonna.
So, I would hope that you don't have to defend yourselves, but I have heard of council members brawling on the debate floor. Things get a bit heated. So I guess combat within the chambers is not so much frowned upon. I guess in certain circumstances, it's even encouraged, I guess.
I
But,
think we'll survive.
I think the thing to watch out for is you're all familiar with the black scale coil, correct?
Yes.
Nods.
Fortunately,
Very good. It is. No, well, it's not even likely. It's basically known at this point in time that a number of the council members are on payroll for them. Likely, their guard details, their personal guard details, are black scale coil hirees or enforcers, what have you. So I would be wary because no doubt their weapons are stashed around the facility.
So you're saying that combat might happen in there, but it probably won't be lethal.
I mean, it might be. If you get these black scale coil individuals involved, it could very easily be lethal. I'm sure
he's
have
saying
their
that
own.
if we get attacked, we may not be able to defend ourselves in there, so we need to be careful.
Yes, I think handling this with the utmost care and would be advised.
So Sturdy Bark is like bunched up in the middle of us.
Fetal position, yeah.
I'm in the back.
I guess we're like laying on him
Joe is going
or
to
sitting on him.
try to find just sort of study his branches for a few minutes while we're all talking and riding, and is going to try to find a good spot where she could hide her bow in his branches along with a bunch of arrows, such that once he stands up, nobody would be able to see them, but she could climb up and get them in a pinch.
Like where you can snipe from, basically. Sure.
Yeah, or just grab it and run.
Guess it is made of wood, maybe. Like
It's also
hide it
really
in
it's
the-
not like
tall.
an
It's like
actual,
putting something on a high
full
shelf.
canopy, you know.
They can't even see me. They can't even see up there.
Look, Alex, just make a hiding check, bro.
Bro,
Is
just
that
put
gonna
it
be
at
a
the
thing in this
top. They
game? I don't
can't see
even-
it.
They will not be confiscating my scythe.
Is it part of you?
I don't know. I think so.
I think it technically is.
It's also 12 feet tall.
No, I thought the site that's part of you was like the other.
Oh, is that the
Other
other
cl-
class?
Yeah, it was the
Not
other
fair enough?
class. I think it is a separate weapon.
Okay. It is 12 feet tall. I don't know how.
It is
They're
very
gonna-
large. I don't know how they'll hold it or where they'll put it. Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably look at you. He says honestly, they're probably not paid enough to deal with a 12-foot tall.
It's my walking stick. I'm old and infirm.
If you use it as such, they might let you in.
I'm old and infirm. I'm a tree. Think about how old I am.
Right. I think that's where we need to be. Yeah. Do you have any questions that you need to ask me before we drop you off?
Do you have any dossiers on specific people to
Yeah, I was about to say,
start
do you have
with?
any suspects?
Oh. I guess we could delve into them a bit. He takes a peek out the window. Yeah, we could deal with that. We're about 10 minutes out, so we can go over that real fast.
I'm just shoving
you-
arrows into a nook on Sturry Bark.
So
That
you're
tickles.
already
I'm
familiar
like
with
wiggling.
Councilwoman Kassan, yes?
Correct.
Do you know everything you need to know about her dealings, etc., or
we know
are you
pretty much
You
nothing.
can give us some
We
history.
need to know how suspicious you are of everyone and why.
Got it. I will give you a scale of 1 to 5 then. 1
Yeah.
being least suspicious, 5 being most suspicious then. And stop me if you want any further details or what have you. He shuffles through this dossier and just kind of starts peeling through some papers. Councilwoman Kassan, she has a stake in shipping here. Also, she has taken ownership of dealing with the defoliant crisis, and has employed a couple of Durigen engineers to get to the bottom of trying to solve this issue, whether creating their own defoliant or fixing the cannons to readily use some type of other material, so on and so forth. We have her listed here as about a 2, I guess. She had to do some shady things to get where she is, but outside of that, it's all well. Let's see here. Councilman Kamenos. He. We actually don't have much about Councilman Kamenos here. It just says that he's owner and proprietor of a number of owner and proprietor of a number of. Here, let me post. He's the owner and proprietor of a number of bars and, well, he kind of like blushes a bit. Pleasure houses here within the city limits. He's always flanked by 2 armed guards. Within the chambers, they tend to not have weapons on them, though would not be terribly surprised if they have some form of small sidearm, knives, so on. The only thing of note with regards to him would be, well, the armed guards are that of, and he looks over, he looks over at you, Loris. He says, "This isn't any. They're elven, so our top suspect for being a member of the Black Scale Coil would be Councilman Kamenos, considering how, well, the Black Scale Coil is run by elves.
I'll nod. Yeah, I'll nod.
We have him listed at about a 4. But honestly, if he's the leader or member or on payroll for the Black Scale Coil, I find it unlikely that he would also be a cultist of any kind. I imagine that would be bad for business. The next councilman here... Oh, I'm sorry. Councilwoman here is... Ulena. Ulena has dealings with shipping here. Actually, I venture to say that she has been hit quite hard by the explosions down at the docks. Seeing as how she runs a number of the counting houses and brings in a fair bit of trade herself, there really isn't anything that comes in and out of the harbor that doesn't, well, that she doesn't know about. The fourth council member is, let's see here,
While he's looking that up, Joe asks, and did you have a number for her?
what was that? Oh, we actually don't. We have her as a 1. There's not really much about her that we were able to find. She's like she keeps to herself, very rarely seen out in public. More often than not is just in and out of the chambers for voting purposes, council purposes, etc., etc. So we actually don't even have a bead on where she lives.
And you said both she and Kasan have stakes in shipping.
Yes. She primarily, because Kasan primarily deals with well, I guess shipping from, he points at Shadel, shipping from the Caradron shipments, generally deals with the airships that come in and out, the dirigibles, whereas she tends to deal with more actual ships coming in and out of harbor, so.
Give a nod.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Well, we have Councilman. There seems like there's a. Hold on, there's a smudge on the paper here. He kind of like takes his glove off and he tries to smudge aside. Kravich? Kravich. Councilman Kravich. He's, well, a general nobody. Actually, he's someone who's been on the council for quite some time. He's never been voted out. He's never been had his seat threatened at all. Actually, for what we have listed here, a general, well-to-do citizen and someone who is relatively unassuming. We have him listed as a 1. He's a rather gaunt man, tall, glasses, so he shouldn't be terribly hard to spot. And then our last person of interest here who we believe has anything to do with this could be Councilwoman Thystra. Thystra is, well, she... Actually, Joe, you recognize this name, now that I think about it. Thystra, she deals with... Well, she deals with all the gangs around here. All the non-Black Scale Coil gangs, anyway. She keeps everyone in line, and she tends to keep the peace within the slums around here.
I'm assuming that doesn't mean she's in charge of the police.
He looks at you like, well, technically... No one really... Technically, we don't police down in
Slums.
well, the slums areas and the like. We don't police down in those areas. We tend to let the problems kind of fix themselves down there, and the real big problems will root themselves out as they will come to the surface. Kind of like how a cream rises to the top.
So the city has put a mob boss on the council.
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
That's literally what you just said.
I would say that Councilwoman Thystra is a entrepreneuring individual who is very much a people person. She's good at organizing large groups of people, which must be why she's on the council. That would make sense to me, yes?
Do you think she's good at pulling people's fingernails out?
I don't know why anyone would ever do that.
Really?
Do Stormcast have fingernails?
I'd
If you
assume
ask
so.
that to him,
Yes.
he says it depends on the reforging.
Because I'm going to show him my branches. I don't have any.
Hold on 1 second.
So far, I only got Kasan, but that's because I've seen it before.
Son, Kamenos, Elena,
I'm
Gravich,
missing
Thystra.
Liliana.
Or Uliana, sorry. Or is it? Is it Uliana or is it Ulana? Or Ulana?
I wrote Ulayna.
It's Ulan.
Ulana, okay.
Close. Let's see. Funny enough, they don't actually have all the council members back to back on the sheet, so I'm going down just trying to make sure I find all of them. They don't have a list. Oh. He says there's actually one more that you should know about. And he's new to the council actually. His name is Krell. Oh, I guess that goes without saying that Thystra has we have her listed as a 5 here. And Councilman Krell, what can I say about Councilman Krell? He's a 5 on our list.
It's very descriptive.
We don't know what he does, and we don't know why he's here. Because it's not really like any one of his kind to be here.
What is he?
He looks at you. He kind of like takes a deep breath. He says, Councilman Krell is a Skaven.
Come again?
Man, I was hoping for a dragon.
How is that even possible?
Okay. Admission into the council is based on votes within the city, as well as appointments to the council from either the Lord Veritant, who has yet to use that power, the Lord of Hammerhall, who has yet to use that power, or from a unanimous council support, which all 5 members of the council voted for Krell to be given a seat. And so he has been given a seat.
What the fuck?
I think you should put all of them at 5 now.
I think that's why
This is
All of them are
primarily why.
technically suspected.
This is technically why Councilwoman Kassan is not a 1. Because we do not really know why she would vote to have Krell sit on the council.
So did Ulana not vote for him, and that's why she's a 1?
No, it was Kravich. That's a 1.
Oh, I thought it was...
No,
Yeah, I have
Ulana was
Alana
as
and
a
Courage
1.
Brothers 1 as well.
Oh, was Ulana 1? Ulana should not be a 1. Ulana
Okay.
should be a 3.
3, okay. So, I guess, was Kravich not on the council at the time?
The reason why we don't have Kravich listed at a 2 is because Kravich is the only person on the council who reports to the Lord Veritant every week.
Ah.
The
But
reason
maybe
why
he's the smokescreen.
The reason why the Lord Veritant or the Lord Castellan of Hammerhall hasn't invoked the right to put him on the council is because Kravich is considered our man on the inside.
Did he mention why they might have voted for a Skaven to be on the council?
He has not.
I've got to meet this guy.
He's not a 1.
We got to meet this guy, Krell. I gotta see this.
Frank, in the Obsidian Catacombs, are there Skaven down there? Are there known to be Skaven down there? Or is there even a rumor of that?
Skaven do not exist.
Sorry?
Skaven are known to exist, but Skaven are never in... Skaven are known to exist. People know Skaven exist, but there has never been a Skaven settlement in, around, or near any human settlement. Ever. That is simply not possible.
That sounds like you're in denial of reality.
Oh, that was me, the DM, telling you.
Oh, it's literally
What?
not possible?
No. That is me, the DM, telling you the...
Like, that's Joe's extent of knowledge about Skaven.
Yes.
Sure.
Your background of Skaven is... Skaven would never make a settlement near or around humans. That's silly. Like, they can't do that. We would surely root them out. That is
Remembers
your
everything I know
knowledge.
from Warhammer
Okay, so
2
Joe
Total
is
War.
very ignorant and gullible about this particular subject.
I think most people would just
Yeah,
have
the
the same
humans don't
knowledge.
know anything.
Most people believe that Skavens... Most people know that they exist, but do not believe that they are, like, rooting around underneath their settlements.
Wait, Martinez, why do you think you can trust this Kravich guy?
Like I said, he's the only one that reports.
He's their man on the inside, you duff.
Do I really need to say this?
Sure.
It's not up for me to decide.
Alright,
Look.
so put him up to a 4. I'm like scrawling this on my hand.
Look, all I've got to say is... I don't believe any of them should be anything lower than a 5. I think they are all complicit in something going on here, or at the very least complicit in making my life harder around here.
Well, it could also be that there's a huge hive of Skaven underneath the city, and the only way they could keep an outbreak from coming is by putting Krell on the council.
Look, I've seen him walk into those chambers. He doesn't carry himself like a Skaven.
Fuck?
That being said,
How do they usually carry themselves?
Hunched over,
I like to
freaking out,
imagine they
gnawing
carry...
their own arms.
I like to imagine they carry themselves in like rags that are tattered, covered in some type of excrement or toxic waste, screaming. That, especially that last part, screaming. I think that's generally how they do.
Okay.
I will say, it is worth noting that Krell is not known to the wider public just yet. He's known to
Why?
be on the council, but he is not his...
They don't know he's a Skaven.
He is not known to the wider public.
Well, Loris here is a bit familiar with Skaven.
I just sat back down. I'm so sorry. I had to go take care of
Oh.
something. If you want me to talk, just brief me up for a second. I'm
I
sorry.
was mostly going to indicate, like, how much should he be familiar with Skaven because he's from the Nautilus or whatever.
You'd have familiarity. Like you would know of them. You would have probably fought against them. You have more than passing knowledge. Did you hear Councilman Krell?
I did not. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll
wait.
put
Is it
notes
in chat? Is it
Yeah,
in
it's
chat?
the last one.
Basically, we were going through the council members. This was the last one. It turns out the information that was not known to the public and just revealed to us is that he is a Skaven.
Like the Skaven are relentless Skaven?
Yes. The seventh
And
council member is a Skaven.
And the way he got his seat is that all the other council members had to confirm him. You can either get your seat by being confirmed by all the other council members, or being appointed by either the Lord Veritan or the guy of Hammerfall. And
Being voted in.
the council members all appoint
And we don't know why, right?
No, I mean like the populace can vote you into.
Oh, sorry, you can also get voted. Okay, yeah, but the council members appointed him. We don't know why. It seems very suspicious.
Gotcha. Okay.
When the populace votes you in, think ballot stuff.
Think what?
Think
House
ballot
stuffing.
stuffing.
Okay, of course. Of
Okay.
course. That's probably how Thyra got in. I mean Thystra.
Oh, the mob boss. Yeah.
Okay. He looks out the window again. He's like, okay, we're coming up on the council chambers. So here's what we're going to do. When this carriage pulls up, we're going to pull up. We're going to open that back door. And you're all going to file out away from the council chamber. I'm going to get out of this door here. I'm going to walk up to in front of the council chambers, and then I will give the order for all of us to stand down, that the city is secure, and that the Stormcats that are sitting out front are to return to their posts. This should give you enough time to get everything together, wait for us all to dissipate, and then you can walk in as if we were never here, and as if you never spoke with any of us. Is that understood?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Nod.
Okay. So we're going to just commence this. He looks out. As soon as the carriage backs up, you can feel the carriage start to go in or back up a bit, hits a couple cobbles, and then come to a stop. And then he points at you, Surreyberg, and says, "That's your cue."
Yep, I will gingerly unfold myself and attempt to disembark from the carriage.
As you all disembark, he waits for the last one of you to get out, and then he closes the door, opens the side door, walks out, and you could see him as you're shuffling away from the carriage, walk to be in front of the all of the Stormcast standing in front of the council chambers, and you hear him bark a couple of orders, cite a couple of rules and regulation, and then you hear all simultaneously a bunch of feet just stamp, and then you see a bunch of them just kind of salute, and they just pick their weapons and they start marching off in various directions. Martinus then turns around, walks back towards the carriage, and then he kind of looks in your general direction as he gets in, and then closes the door as the carriage starts to file on out.
Were we supposed to wait some amount of time?
No, let's just go.
Okay. So there's no one in front of the council chambers. You basically just have the big doors in front of you. And the courtyard out in front. As you all walk up to the gates, you actually all can hear. It's not like they're being subtle. You can all hear a very loud voice coming from behind you. You could hear the following. "Of course this is your fault, you daft ox! You're soft! That's your problem. You have far too much kindness in you for what should be such a strict job. Followed by oh, you have no idea. You don't have the wit about you. I'm not some soft-hearted twit. I think of my fellow workers out here. I understand that I can't push them too hard. If I do, then the coil's gonna be on us by tomorrow. We're not gonna be able to fix anything. Upon hearing this, you turn around, and you could see two Durridin who are just balled up fists, just walking towards this council chambers. This conversation, this yelling match between them, pretty much goes on from the moment you heard them start yelling to when they walk basically up to you, then walk around you, then through the doors. They don't even stop to pay you any regard as they start moving on past you.
I'm gonna follow closely after them.
Yeah, when in Rome.
Yeah, sure. I'll sneak too.
Oh yeah.
And I'll turn to the rest of the group, and as we're getting closer and saying, those might be the Durden working for Lady Kassan, so it might be perfect that all of Lady Kassan's workers have arrived. We'll see.
As you...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna use my lenses to look at the two dwarves. Do I see anything from the witch side granted to me?
No.
Okay.
No, these are honest, good-working Durridin, from what you can tell. Biceps the size of their thighs, just hulking individuals, but there you go. Just hard workers. As you follow them in, you hear the female dwarf shout, "All right, that's it. I'm done with this." As you peek through the door, you see her with her fist balled up as she just takes a swing at the other one. And with a mighty crack, you see the male dwarf's head just jerk to the side, and you almost like in slow motion, you could see just a tooth just fly out of his mouth and just hit the floor. He stands up and he just spits some blood out on the garden pavement, and he says, "All right, that's it. I'm done with this."
Can I?
Proceeds
like
to
a
put
full
his
blown
dukes
fist
up.
fight, huh?
He proceeds to put his dukes up. What would you say, Goldie?
Can I try to like get close enough to be like, hold up, stop fighting, need to talk to you both, very urgent. Try to like calm them down.
I'm getting ready to gas them.
Yes, you're gonna need to give me a
620.
No, you need to give me a 5-2. Mind Guile. Silver Tongue. What does this give you? Advantage?
Yeah, I'm trying to persuade people.
So that's 4
So it's 4
instead
too?
of 5? Yeah.
Yep, 4-2.
So I
You
got
it.
3
And you
successes.
have a focus, so you can
Yeah.
raise it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you have a 4-2 there anyway, so you have a 4
So-
and a 5, so...
We're all probably here for the same thing. Just let's calm down, have a quick chat. I can help you two out. I heard you two fighting, and I'm sure we're actually all here for the same thing. If you could just give us all a moment to chat, please.
The male dwarf with his fists up just turns to look at you. He's like, "Who the hell are you supposed to be?"
I'm Joe Lenorin. I'm working with Councilwoman Kassan. Are you also working with Councilwoman Kassan?
He kind of like he almost like stops like with his he lowers his fist to me. He's like, yeah, we're the ones working on the walls.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Finally, someone who's getting things done. Look, our group and I, we were sent to find the defoliant, and we do have information to bring back. So why don't we join you while you give your report? We'll give our report at the same time. Just get everything moving quickly, and we don't have to have all this bloodshed and fighting. Or we can beat the shit of each other outside after this. But let's get done. Let's get paid, and let's keep moving. What do you say?
The female dwarf approaches and says, "Well, I think that's the best idea I've heard all day.
All
Definitely
right.
not something I've heard coming from him."
No, it's all right. Yep, perfect. So we all in agreement. Let's go. And I'll just try to like take a few like jogs in front of them as they're like, all right, we're all going now, and look back to everyone and give a wink over the dwarves.
You've ruined some perfectly good entertainment.
As you're walking in, the male dwarf just kind of turns to her and says, "I'm telling you, we could have put a bit of electric charge through it. I'm sure it would have made it better." And she looks at him and says, "And where would we have gotten that, eh? We would have had to rewire half the city in order to get what we needed for that." And they keep going on and on and on.
I'm gonna turn to Shadel as they're talking and be like, Shadel, can you help them with whatever they're discussing?
Are they going to pay me?
Shadel, fine.
They keep going and going, just back and forth at each other, and then
Don't worry, I will talk to them when Kassan offers me another contract.
With the
Talk
coach.
to them.
as you approach the
No,
main doors to
It's gotta be more than that.
to the dauntless halls, they kind of stop. They both take a deep breath and they turn and they say, "All right, well that's enough of that." She looks up at you and she holds out her hand. She says, "Name's Arena."
Lorena, nice to meet
Hi.
you.
I'm Shadel and I'm really angry, so I'm just gonna open the doors and ignore everything else.
She says, "Whoa there, hold up. You wouldn't want those blackguard coming out with their spears drawn, eh? You have to wait till we get let in."
No, I do want that.
I think we won't have a problem.
The male dwarf looks. He's like, "All right, well, I didn't get to introduce myself, but
What's your name?
for the first time, I think I would agree with Arena here. I don't want to be pig stuck."
Okay, how about... Okay, what is the normal procedure to have them let us in?
Arena looks down. She says, "Well, we have a meeting with the council when it starts. We should be only a couple minutes then. Once they convene in the chambers, we should be let in. Should be all well and good." They come out here. They see any petitioners, and well, generally put, not many show up. It just tends to be those associated with council members.
I'm gonna walk over to Sturdy Bark and just like tippy toe up as high as I can and be like, would you like to sing a song for our while we wait?
I'm just gonna fume in my armor.
I'm thrilled that someone wants me to sing a song, so I will begin singing.
I'll start trying to do like a background beat or
They're
tempo
gonna
to
hear
it.
you through the chamber doors.
I'm just singing, just having a good time.
You're singing for a little bit. You all, yeah, I mean, this isn't hard to see. You all notice more people come walking into the courtyard. There looks like there's this dark-clad elf, or this dark-clad individual. They were wearing this like black hood, what almost looks like this like mask over their mouth. They have this like shoulder guard on one shoulder, this black cape, and like this grayish black like attire on.
When I
And
look
they're-
through that stuff and see their face, do I recognize them?
No, but you recognize they're an elf. And they're carrying themselves with what looks like immense purpose.
Do I see any weapons like hidden around?
Hidden on them?
On them, yeah.
Oh, well, you all still have your weapons. You haven't let in proper.
Well, I mean, like,
Oh yeah, this person's carrying.
Like a lot of knives, like a.
Oh,
Would
yeah,
I suspect this person might be an assassin or a guard?
they have a bunch of small knives that are like attached to their boot. They have a bunch of knives that are on like their belt, and then you could see at their back they have this sheathed sword.
Jesus. Okay.
Do the locals, do either me or Loris, recognize that attire as like, and the bearing as like, oh, you're part of X guild or faction or organization, or like, nope, that's just shady attire?
No, this is what those of you native to Anvilgard would recognize this person as just a normal person in Anvilgard.
Oh,
Cool.
Okay.
Like I might also dress similar to this.
Well,
since
you know,
I'm-
they
Yeah,
have
like-
Sure.
a hidden
like-
arena under a
like
fucking
Joe,
tavern.
you dress like you dress for the job, right? Like you're like a mercenary, you're like a bounty hunter. You don't like walk out wearing like shorts and a t-shirt every day, right?
Correct.
Yeah, like you're dressed for the job you have. This person is very much dressed for the job they have. Like same type of feel.
And does that job look like it's killing people? You know, particularly council members?
I mean, this person's walking up to you with a strong purpose in their step, a strong stride.
So this guy that's equipped with a lot of weaponry has walked behind me?
They're walking up to you,
I think they don't like the song.
and then they walk up, and then they just kind of stand there behind you all, tapping their foot.
It's clearly British.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him, who the hell are you?
Upon you saying that, they reach for their sword and they say, "Who said that? Was it one of you?" As he
He's a little short. You'll
I
have
say,
to
you gotta
look
look
down.
down. I'm down here.
And then he says, "Ah, I didn't see you there. But you're very lucky that you didn't take me by surprise. My name is Charwind."
What? This guy is so edgy.
Who asked?
I asked who he was. No,
Oh,
this is
did you?
fair.
Alright.
I
My name
asked
is
him who he was.
Charwind. I'm under the employ of the council to root out evil in these streets.
Wait, me too. I think.
We're not under the employ to root out evil in the streets. We're under the employ to go find something in the
Frank,
ocean.
do I know this guy?
Yes.
Kind of the same thing.
Is he just like want to be Batman, or is he actually good at his job?
This guy. You have heard the name Charwind before, Joe.
Okay, but I've not actually met
Loris,
this
you've
guy.
also heard the name Charwind. This guy makes his name known all throughout town, but you, for the life of you, you have no idea what this guy actually does.
So I've like never been like upstaged by him, and he's like never taken a contract or anything.
No.
Charwind,
I'm gonna immediately ask him, do you know Therial Cultus?
He bends down, he grips his head, and he's like, "Therial Cultus? I've never heard of the word."
He grips his head. You said.
Yes.
You have a
Are you
mental
okay?
condition.
so I've actually,
I'm fine. I'm sorry, I just get these powerful migraines when I'm focusing immensely on my targets and my duty ahead. I'm sorry, I'm just so in tune with the world around me. Ah!
so
And then he strains himself back up again.
Charwind, I've actually heard of you. Heard your name at least, and wondered why you've never taken any contracts before I've hit them. I'm Joe Lenarin. I'm kind of in the same business as you, apparently, but I've heard no sort of word of your deeds, just word of your name.
Yes, my name spread far and wide, like a black wind on the horizon. I don't take the meager jobs that they post at taverns. I only take what the council members provide me with.
Who's your main patron on the council?
I could never possibly give away my benefactor, but if you must know, I work for a number of them on a daily basis.
So, a non-specific answer with a non-specific mission. Sounds like you just come to the courtyard and walk around, and that's what you do.
That's
he
a
reaches
job.
for his sword. You best take back those words, Duradin, or you will face my blade in combat.
I mean, be my guest.
Come
You
on.
can fight the
Skippy,
giant
no,
next
no,
to me or the
nope.
giant on the other side.
Skippy, put the sword away. We're not doing this.
Joe's just laughing like in the background.
This guy
Alright,
seems
I've
very
had enough
tough.
fun. I'll stop joking around with this
Yeah,
clown.
Skippy, he's a little. He's not worth it.
Shortly after Charwind shows up, the door to the council opens, or the door to the Dauntless Hall opens. And Arena and the other male dwarf, who didn't introduce himself,
Name unknown.
name unknown, Arena and male dwarf, number 2 technically, says, "Finally! Alright, let's get on with it." Arena turns back around and says, "Come on, Zedra, let's go." As Zedra says, "All right, hold on, let me just stand up," and then he claps his hands, and stands up, and dusts himself off, and just walks on in. Arena then turns around to the lot of you and says, "Well, come on then, we're gonna be presented together then, yeah."
Quickly follow.
That would be convenient.
I will bring up the rear.
Make sure to block that idiot.
No, I will actually start inquiring to Charwood about his attire.
Offer him a...
Charwood looks at you, and he his single eye that's visible, just gleams as he starts to describe the beasts he's slain and skinned in order to create this powerful outfit that he's wearing that gives him ungodly protection against the elements, as well as your standard stabbings, slashings, and bolts from crossbows. As he reaches forward as he brushes his hair aside, you see an eye patch covering his right eye. He says that this eye patch contains a mighty power within him, and only those who are about to die shall see his true eye.
Okay, I gotta see what's on the other side of the eye patch. What's... Is there anything? It's just an eye.
You see one of his eyes, which is like a steely blue color, and then you see the other eye, which is a steely blue color.
Frank, is his sword visible?
Yes. It's like sheathed on his back.
So, Skippy, what's the name of your blade? Well, give me the story. I asked him. I want the story. Where was it forged? Where'd you get it?
700 folded.
As you're walking in, and the dwarves are leading the way. You turn around, you ask him this, and he says, "My blade was forged at the Crimson Peaks, far beyond the Adamantite lands. I have dubbed it with the name Charfo."
Wait, wouldn't it make...
I'm just dying laughing at this point.
But aren't you would that make you the foe?
I like to imagine me and this blade are in constant combat with one another, vying for power over my own body. When I grip it with my hands, I can tell it hungers for blood, and I must contain it. As you're walking, looking at him, you kind of bump into the dwarves in front of you, and then they look behind you and they're like, "It's the weapon check." You just see two elves in front of you. They're wearing black armor with shields and spears, and they say, "All right, weapon checks for the lot of you."
I'll give all mine.
Mr. Charwin was just telling me about Charfo here, and I'm going to indicate it.
Whatever shall you do when someone else holds your blade? Will they be immediately possessed?
My blade will not respond to anyone other than me.
Amazing!
It's
Isn't that a
believe what would
coincidence?
happen if they were to draw it from its scabbard.
Could you please draw from its scabbard and check it out before?
He draws that blade, and it is this beautiful looking katana. And then he puts it away. And then he looks at you and he says, "You should be lucky. when most people see that blade, that's the last thing they ever see.
It's an impressive blade.
How many times do you think it was folded?
Hmm.
I was not there at its forging, but I picked it up a week after I ordered it, so I could only imagine at least 12 times.
I'll hand over my stuff.
I'll hand over my hand axe and
The
shield.
guards are looking at this interaction, and they just reach out for all your weapons. Then they get back to Charwind and they say, "All right, we normally ask you to get going and start unbuckling all your knives, so we don't have to wait here for 5 minutes while you do it. But clearly, you were showing off, so the rest of you can go on up ahead."
Do they buy the walking stick?
You know, fair. Um,
I'm
hold
not like
on.
being threatening or anything.
I can also try to help like guide you, like as though you're like this old
I'm
sort of
kinda
blind,
leaning.
and yeah, I'll just kind of like hold one of your branches and sort of like guide you as though I'm guiding an old
Also,
man.
surely they think only an old man would be silly enough to ask Charwind about his stuff.
You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. I like the idea of doing something like this. Between you and Joe,
Mhm.
give me a guile. 4-3. So between the two of you, I need 3 successes.
Okay.
What was the
I
DC?
think I suck at
Pretty
guile, so
likely.
you're gonna have to
4-3.
A
That's
guile, a 4-3 guile.
And I assume Silver
Alright.
Tongue would not really work here. I'm trying to deceive.
You're not really. I guess you're trying to deceive.
Are you talking though, or is that how it's
I'm
called?
not, it's
but
kinda-
not?
Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
like it's
I'm-
more of a sleight of hand thing, no?
I'm gonna go with no. Let's not.
So I'm targeting a 4, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're targeting a 4.
Was it Guile 4-3? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, you just need 1. Okay, you're good. Yeah. So as you're walking in, one of the guards kind of motions to you, Sturdy Bark, to like reach for your scythe, and you kind of like pull it
Stumble a
away, and Joe, you can intercede and say, provide reason not to grab it. He looks at you, he's like, well, bring it here.
Oh no,
No.
that's he's going to need that. If we're going to get in, like you said, you don't want to wait 5 minutes for him and his knives. You don't want to wait 30 minutes for him to walk inside. He's quite large, but he's lumbers a bit without his stick.
Guard narrows his eyes and looks at you, Sturdy Bark. Is that so?
I'm not as young as I used to be.
I'm so
You know
proud.
what they say about trees.
I'm not a young man anymore.
Exactly.
He looks and he's like, all right. I think just this one. He looks over. Garland, I think just this once we can let this guy through. Looks like he's an old one. And Garland's just standing like, yeah, whatever. I'm dealing with Charwin right now.
I see he's a regular.
Garland looks at you, Garland looks back at all of you and then says, "Yeah, he's a regular, all right."
A regular doofus.
Irregular. He's irregular. Oh, Sturdy Bark is dying.
Go ahead. I'll go after.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say to them, I don't think this pathetic defenseless thing could really hurt you. I think you can just let him in, pointing to Charwin.
Didn't you see his sword?
It's
It
an
might
impressive
possess the
sword,
entire council.
but I don't think this goofball is gonna hurt anyone.
He looks at you and he says, "It's more like we don't want him to hurt himself. We
That's
don't really
fair.
want." He looks at you. He's like, "Between you and me, we don't really need like an investigative branch to come down here inquiring about a random death."
Oh, quick
You know.
question: is this guy he's an elf, right? The Charwin guy.
Yep.
Is he a dark elf or a high
Oh,
elf?
you're able to see him. He is not a dark elf.
Oh.
He's also not what you would recognize as like a lumineth, a high elf.
Oh, is he the ones
you-
that were outside or whatever?
Yeah, you recognize this guy to be what you know as a wanderer.
Okay. What
Oh,
have you
so
been?
Odin?
So a wood elf.
Yeah, the ones that used to be associated with Alariel's realm, right?
Yep, and then they got
Okay.
like cast out.
Yeah.
Wait, Alariel?
Yeah.
Is this my homie?
No, not really. Alariel kind of hates them.
Okay, that's fine.
They're
Then I don't
not
really like him
really
either.
trees.
Depends
so
on her mood.
They're not trees, so
At
they're
one
not
point-
really loved.
At one point, they were like custodians of the land
Got you.
there, and then they fought for Sigmar, and they
Yikes.
weren't there anymore. And she
Alariel
considered that
didn't
like a
like that.
betrayal. Yeah, she
I
considered
don't
it a
like that
betrayal.
either. Then again,
I
I am
mean-
incapable of free thought.
No, I don't know if
And the soul
Kurnoth
pact, I
cares.
don't think
I don't know if Kurnoth cares, and you're more into what he thinks than Alariel anyway.
Right. Well, Kurnoth doesn't really say anything. I think he's just like, go.
No, I
do
don't
whatever.
think there's much information on him.
All right. Well, I'm shuffling in slowly.
As you enter the chambers. Oh, okay, so the guards take all of your weapons. They do not take the following. They do not take the scythe.
Mhm.
And Joe, you hid the bow among Sturdy Bark's leaves, correct?
Yeah, and some arrows, and I told Tewa to mind it.
Yeah, so this is easy, because Tewa can just take it and turn invisible.
Oh my god, I love
Ah.
Tewa.
Do they disarm me, or do I just walk in with my armor on and
With their
everything?
fucking pistol.
I mean, do you have a readily visible sidearm?
I mean, it's all in my pack, but it's inside, you know, like
Yeah,
the
then
compartment.
they can't really take anything.
Okay,
from
then
you.
yeah.
Are
Fuck
they even
it.
capable of carrying Pagusha's flamberge?
They
Oh,
lean
yeah.
it up against a wall.
Yeah, they
Okay.
probably do take his flamberge.
And they
Wait,
give all of you
wait.
whose weapons they took, they give you like a little tag.
Like a valet ticket?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Thank
They
you.
give you like a little
The
tag.
coat check tag, yeah.
Yeah, were they able to take his flamberge, or did he eat somebody?
Bagush, they insist on taking your flamberge. Ollie's not here.
No problem.
Very good. So you enter into the council room chambers. As you walk in, there's a fierce debate going on here. So it's like a almost like an amphitheater, I guess. Except I guess it's not really an amphitheater. I don't know exactly what I would call this. You have like various seats sitting around this circular room, and they're elevated up, and each council member with like a standard, like their house symbol is put on like in front of the podium that they're sitting at. And then in the center of the room, it's just a couple seats for like the gallery or for people who are sitting in, people who are waiting to be called up. And then it's like I guess like a pulpit where you'll have people who are going to present or go to speak with the council in like the center of the room. So as you're all walking in, you can hear a fierce debate going on. The council has only just convened minutes ago, and it's already a fierce debate going on. You can see the various council members just throwing words out at each other. It's almost it's a wonder how anyone's getting any argument through here, considering how they're all shouting over each other. It isn't until you all walk in that a familiar voice shouts above all the rest and says, my dear council members, please, let's all calm down. I believe that we have all of our problems figured out from here on out. I'm working with individuals to assist in dealing with this defoliant crisis. Some might even say that we have the solution readily available to us. It should be only a couple short days until the encroaching wildlife is put back in its place, and we can live safe once again behind our walls. no worries come from my no worries are coming from my side of this chamber. I believe that we are well in our abilities to take care of this city, with or without the Lord Varitan's assistance. This you recognize to be Councilwoman Kassan speaking. You hear another voice chime out saying, "Well, Councilwoman, as you are clearly aware, if the Lord Varitant is just able to call martial law like that on a whim for something as little as a minor explosion down by the docks, I truly don't know if we can trust him ever again. I mean, this is not only bad for business, locking everyone up inside their homes and patrolling the streets the way they are, but it's truly bad for the well-being of the people. I mean, people must get out. They must enjoy themselves. There's a lot of problems going about our city, and well, if people are left in their houses and they're left to think about these issues, then perhaps we might be dealing with a little more than just martial law on our hands next time, if you know what I'm getting at."
Sorry,
Who is this,
who
Frank,
was saying
from our
that?
description?
That was probably Cominos, given the context.
There's not really names or anything associated with them, but with the dossiers that were shown to you, briefly shown to you, yes, you recognize that to be Cominos. You recognize the symbol, I guess his house symbol or his personal seal on the banner in front of his podium.
Gotcha.
This is followed up with a more mild-mannered voice. Yes, I do believe that while the shipping has definitely come to a halt, at least with the issues going down by the docks, my group of my laborers will have the docks in full repair again in no time, and we should be able to receive shipments out and be sending our goods to and fro again in no time. This is a minor holdup. In fact, she points at Councilman Commodus. In fact, I would go so far as to say that the martial law put in place by the Lord Varitant was good for me. Actually, it gave me the opportunity to get my men down by the docks and clean things up a bit, as it is. So get things back in working order. So I think all that ruckus that was avoided with this with that call was definitely a boon for me. So I for one believe that what the Lord Veritan did was necessary and one might say vital to the city. After that was said, Cominos just kind of throws his hands up and says, "Well, of course it was vital for what you wish. After all, your businesses weren't affected, but if people aren't coming in and out of the various establishments I own, then what? I'm supposed to pay all my employees for just sitting around, and I can't possibly send them home either, just in case that the martial law gets lifted on a whim. I have to make sure they're at the ready. It's basically having them all on call. I can't possibly be unready. And surely you know how that works in shipping and all. Ship comes in, you have to have someone ready to unload and send it out again, yes? With that, Councilwoman Kassan kind of just shouts again and says, if it would please everyone, I actually have my trusted associates who have joined us here, as she gestures down towards the darkened part of the room. I guess you're technically all sitting in like a shadowed area.
Is she gesturing to Arena and the male dwarf? Okay.
Yep, you're all, I guess for the record, sitting in like a shaded area. There's not really like lights that are beaming down on you. Okay. There's a light that's beaming down towards the center of the room. As Kassan motions, Arena and Zadra stand up, and Arena takes point as she walks forward, Zadra following close behind. Councilman Kassan introduces them and says, this would be Chief Engineer Arena and her assistant, Zadra. or Zadra. Zadra? And then he chimes up. It's Zadra. Zadra. She says, right, Zadra. Got it. They are the architects who are dealing with our, well, dare I say, the crumbling infrastructure of our walls. As many of you are painfully well aware, this someone has vandalized our defoliant cannons and, well, has, in doing so, has put our walls in a state of disrepair. I'm sure the vagrant youths of this town don't really understand what's necessary with keeping how necessary it is to keep these cannons operational and our walls functional, but surely they will know soon enough when these vines start encroaching down into their homes, and everyone has to break out their own hatchets and start hacking them away. So,
Vandalized.
Arena and Zadra, please, give us your update on the situation. I'm sure you've solved many of our problems already. Yes. Arena pipes up and says, well, actually, Zadra butts in and says, actually, I think you're all misunderstanding the situation you're all in. Yeah. Arena just kind of like pushes him aside. We have not fixed the problem yet, but we have identified the issue. As soon as she says identified the issue, a very soft-spoken man in the back says, well, yes, I know we know what the issue is. We've seen the issue with our own two eyes. The cannons are broken. They've been vandalized, and the walls are by association for whatever bombs or whatever was used to destroy these cannons or vandalize these cannons are in disrepair because of it. So, yes, we know the situation, but what have you done to fix it? It doesn't sound like you've done much of anything, yes? For all of you looking at the, for all of you looking up at the podiums, that would have been Kravich speaking.
Right.
Arena pipes up and says, well, yes, we are very well aware that you all know what's wrong, but I guess the problem is we're here to, well, simply put, it's the two of us plus the laborers that were provided by Councilwoman Kassan, and, well, we need them to be working double shifts in order to get this operational again. And also, it wouldn't hurt if we had access to, well, the proper defoliant in order to make the cannons work properly. Otherwise, we're just going to make adjustments on the fly. And you see, well, how do we put this? Zadra chimes in and says, well, it seems that if we make the laborers work a little too hard, they're going to, well, they're going to go complain to their paymasters, if you know what I mean. The same voice chimes out and says, paymasters, Councilwoman Kassan, I mean, I assume she's paying them well enough. I don't see why they would be complaining if they're been employed to work. Arena says, I mean, it's not entirely Councilwoman Kassan. It's more of the she snaps her fingers. It's more of their union. Yes, their union. And the same voice chimes in. I wasn't aware we had any laborer unions in this city. Upon him saying that, you all hear kind of a snide laughter coming from one of the podiums. And then you hear, Kravich, of course you wouldn't know that. After all, you stay sequestered in your villa all day. This person you recognize to be well, I guess technically there was no symbol associated with her because they didn't have the information. But by process of elimination and the fact that it's not a Skaven, you recognize this person to be your neighborhood crime boss, as you put it.
Astra.
Yep, Thystra. She starts laughing and says, just for you, Councilwoman, I'll make sure that they work double shifts just for you. I'll make sure nothing goes wrong, just so long as we get those cannons up. After all, we wouldn't want any of the foliage getting into the lower slums and getting people a little upset down there, would we? Councilman Kassan nods and says, "Thank you, thank you, Thystra. That is much appreciated, as always. Your optimism and your cooperation is always appreciated." Thystra kind of like raises what looks like a glass of some type of beverage, and then just starts drinking as she kicks her feet back. Arena then looks up and says, "Well, this is all fantastic, actually. We should be able to then get everything together. Hopefully get everything in repair within the next couple days."
So, Frank, while they're talking, I'm gonna whisper Shaydell and ask, with that manual we have, can you make more defoliant?
What manual?
Didn't we find a manual in
You did
the
find a manual.
in the ship that says how to make defoliant?
What manual?
I don't know if that's player or character.
That is.
Well, I think that's character. I
Okay.
think that's character. He's not.
That is character.
That is trade secrets.
But we haven't even got paid for the first one.
I will.
That is big time trade secrets right there.
Yeah, then I'll. I'm glad I whispered it, and I'll give him a wink and keep quiet and keep listening.
Yeah, I do a nice little like keep your lips sealed about that one symbol, you know.
Yep.
Sip the lip.
As this conversation is still going, you all hear the door slam open behind you. And you see Charwin standing in the threshold, and he announces himself, and he says, "Lo, can I not be invited into this chamber? I yearn to cross this threshold." As that happens, you hear Councilman Thystra just laugh, just erupt. And you hear her just say, "This guy again, come on!" Like, she
I'm
looks over.
clapping. The entertainment has arrived.
She looks over and she's like, "Ulana, you didn't bring him back, did you? Like, this is insanity that you could keep bringing this guy back here." And Ulana very clearly kind of like hides her face a bit. And she says, "He is a very good enforcer down by the docks. He does a fantastic job of scaring away any rabble-rousers, and I think his report is necessary based on what has occurred down there." She shouts out, "Charwind, you may enter." As she says that, he just gracefully steps over the threshold, and then he says, "Ah, I am unbidden," as he just walks slowly in and takes a seat behind you.
Oh my god.
Ulana then says, "Can we get back to the debate here?" And then Arena just kind of shouts out, "I didn't think it was much of a debate. I think we figured it all out then, yeah?" And Zadra says, "Yeah, I think that's about it. Then, I guess the only question that comes now is, are we making modifications to these cannons to deal with this foliage issue? Are we going to be seeing defoliant anytime soon?" And as he says defoliant, Councilman Kassan raises her hand and says, "Actually, I have that problem figured out." And she stands up and says, I have requisitioned assistance from a local fisherman who has gone out and solved this crisis for us. As she motions down, and I guess like an attendant just kind of wheels in this cart that has one of these defoliant canisters on it. And she says, "Voila! I just had to make sure they were the right make, model, and brew, I guess, whatever the Durridin would call it. Before I wanted to unveil it to the chambers at large, but we have enough defoliant to last us, hopefully, until we either solve this problem in full or get a new shipment from Chaumont."
How many? Didn't we bring up like 10 of these? This is me asking as a player.
Yes.
Like I'm trying to.
And
Okay,
does
and
this
she's
look
just
like-
rolling out one. There's just one.
Yes.
Is she insinuating that she only has one?
There's just
She's just showing
pointer.
one.
Okay.
Does it look like one that
Th-
we had?
There were numbers and letters on them and stuff like identifying them.
Oh yeah. Do you
Remember, like you needed one that was like I can't remember. You
A, B, and
combine
C.
two barrels together to make
Yeah, give me a.
I'm gonna sneak
an awareness.
closer to it
Yeah.
in the darkness and then
Good.
try to
An
get a good
awareness
look
check?
as well.
Yeah, give me an awareness. Give me like a 4-2.
Okay, I'll just get 5 successes. All right.
Cool.
Actually,
Yeah.
6 because I gotta focus.
This you can make out like from your distance with your goggles. 3 times zoom, 4 times zoom. You can see the serial number on this, and you recognize this serial number as one of the canisters that was brought up from the ship.
Okay, I dust myself off, and I'm just gonna walk up. I'm gonna go, well, how about that? Isn't that incredible?
She sees you, obviously, as you dust yourself up and move yourself in, and she is kind of taken aback. She's like, "Oh, hello! I didn't expect to see you here." And she stands up and she starts clapping. She's like, "Everyone, I would like to introduce you all to the individuals who assisted in getting these barrels back for us."
Well, you omitted that information when you originally announced it. How kind of you to include us in the endeavor now.
I just stated that the fishermen assisted in getting it back. You were included in that venture.
A fisherman? Really? Do you think he actually just cast a net out and pulled them up?
She grasps her podium, and she says, "I don't question the methods of those I employ. I just expect things to get done."
Yes, so this is one of the barrels that we pulled up from the bottom of the ocean in the Syrian Sea. After we pulled up all the barrels, our fisherman that you employed, under contract, mind you, so kindly left us out to die in the middle of the Syrian Sea.
She starts breathing heavy. She's like, I and yet you're here.
Frank, what are the other council people doing? What's Dystra doing?
Thystra is like leaning in. Like this is the best show she's seen all day. Kamenos is leaning back towards his 2 guards at his side and he's talking to them. Ulana is very clearly like listening intently.
Keep in mind, this
Craven-
is
Go ahead.
this is after we successfully defeated a Leviathan and numerous Nurgle infested creatures.
I am watching
warded off.
everyone like a
some-
Hawkman says Nurgle.
And then what they were what are the ghouls called?
Flesh eaters.
Flesh eaters, and the flesh eater counts, and it was a queen, right?
Yes.
Yes, it was a
And
Warrant
she was
Queen.
riding a
Terrorgeist.
Terrorgeist. And we even protected the vessel from the flesh eater counts, including a queen that was riding a Terrorgeist and boarded the vessel. We fought them off. So, considering our prowess and our ability to retrieve the defoliant, why might your fishermen have abandoned us in the middle of the sea?
She's kind of at a loss for words. And then Kravich speaks up and says, "Well, this is quite the damning accusation you have here. Far be it from me to accuse Councilwoman Hassan of foul play or anything of the sort. I firmly believe that if anything happened out on this expedition, it was probably completely out of her control.
Okay.
Might I recommend that we discuss this defoliant issue further, but it might call for a bit of a recess, considering how he looks down at, pulls up the piece of paper. You mentioned there are, what was that, a Nurgle Leviathan? Is that what I heard correctly?
Oh yes, it was lovely.
I see. He looks around and says, "Council members, I think it might be a good idea for us to hold a brief recess and perhaps reconvene shortly with information or about a debate in dealing with this incursion, what appears to be a incursion upon our city. It seems like this is getting more and more encompassing. Now it's by sea as well. I simply thought this was by land. Far be it from me to assume, but maybe martial law is the best way for us to maintain order in this city. If the case is, we have demons at our door." When he says that, Kamino says, "I protest wholeheartedly to that, but I'm sure we can discuss that when we come back from our recess then, yes?" And Kamino raises his hand and says, "I motion for a 15-minute recess. All those in favor?" All of them, you see every single council member raise their hand, and then you even see this little tiny hand just kind of raise above a podium. And then Kamino says, "A motion carries. 15 minutes then." Okay. So now let's go over a couple stuff. People reacting to Nurgle. The only ones that reacted... Actually, I guess it's best to go over the ones who didn't react. You couldn't see Krell. But his hand being raised at the end there tells you that he was here.
Right.
He's too small.
He's very small, yeah.
Thystra didn't react to to mentioning Nurgle. Every other member did. So Kaminos, Kravich, Kasan, and Ulana all reacted to when Shadel mentioned Nurgle.
Like in surprise and concern?
It was
A twitch.
yes, between. I guess it would be a level of surprise versus just kind of like, oh, Nurgle, sure, whatever. It was just like, Ulana would put her hand to her mouth, Kravich leaned forward, Kaminos kind of put his hands together and very, very clearly and thought over it. Kasan also reacted in a similar fashion. The only ones who didn't react were Thystra, who was just kind of sitting there, and Krell, who you couldn't see.
Okay.
When I look at Krill, what do I see? Like, what can I see from this guy? Is he too far away?
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
With regards to weird magic stuff, does your witch sight let you see through barriers?
I think it would let me see if there was a barrier. I don't know if it would
Well,
let me see.
this is
through
more
a
like
barrier.
with Loris, because yours you can like see through things,
Um,
right?
It gives me witch sight, and I see through physical objects.
Oh,
So.
let me pull up witch sight. I think witch sight like technically gives like a lingering like aura around it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's what it does.
Things that are magic that either of you can see with witch sight. Thystra is basically glowing. Just in her entirety. She's just basically glowing. You can see in where Krell would be seated, you can see he is also just emanating what looks like this green aura about him. Outside of that, Kassan, you can see a brooch on her. You can see like, I guess not a brooch. It's like her necklace is glowing. Kravich has what looks like a letter opener or stiletto that was glowing, as well as a quill, like a pen, a writing utensil.
Any particular hue or color to these glows that might be alarming?
Kravich's was just kind of like a purplish aura to it. Kamenos doesn't have anything on his person, but his two guards are wielding spears, both of which are glowing. Okay. The same color purple that Kravich's quill is glowing. And Ulana actually isn't presenting anything magical at all.
But she's glowing.
No. Ulana is not glowing.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Thystra. Okay.
Thystra is just like radiating magical energy. Like it's just like flowing off of her. Same goes for Krell. Or where the silhouette that would be made of Krell.
Okay.
As this recess is called, everyone starts moving off of their podiums, moving down their stairs, and then moving out into like a hallway that connects to their podiums. They do not enter the main room that you're all in.
Can I try to just vanish, quote unquote, kind of like jump up Sturdy Bark, climb up on a pedestal, and follow Thystra out as quietly as I can?
Yeah, give me stealth.
How do I have this? I don't know if this helps.
I'll give you advantage with that.
So what is my final DN?
You're waiting until their backs are turned?
Yeah, so I figure everyone turns their backs. I quickly just like maybe even like grab a branch or two on Sturdy Bark, like swing myself up, get on like whatever ledge there is, and just like tiptoe, get behind that door and just start like trailing them.
Give me a for you taking into okay, so it would be a 5-3. It's a 4-3 because you have advantage.
That's
enough. You have
got
focus.
it. Yep.
You got the focus, so you can do it. Okay. You're able to get up. You aimed for Thystra's, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, just backed out accidentally. From what you can see, from where you are, you see like this pathway that leads away from each of the podiums into like a hallway, and you can hear from where you are the various council members just kind of like chatting, talking, as they are moving around in the hallway that connects all of their podiums together. What you can hear if you're listening in is the following. You hear Thystra very boisterously like approaching Kasan or saying to Kasan, I didn't know you had it in you, Kasan. I figured you were straight and narrow. I didn't expect you to go on betraying anyone like that. That's I gotta hand it to you. That's I had you pegged all wrong. That is not at all what I anticipated. Good on you. What was it? You didn't want to pay him? And then you hear Kasan kind of say back, "No, I honestly didn't know they were alive or not. I was told that they were deceased." And then Thystra says, "Oh, by your completely legitimate fisherman, eh?" Kazan says back, "Yes, by the fisherman I sent out. Yes." Thystra says back, "You hear a door open, and then Thystra says back, your fishermen. What do they specialize in? They catch what? Blackfish?" And then Kasan says back, I actually don't know what they specialize in. I assumed it was something just like your run of the mill whitefish of some kind." Thystra laughs back and was like, "Guess that one went over your head, huh?" And then you hear like chuckle a bit, and then a door slams.
I'm gonna creep along to the end of whatever hall I'm in to try to figure out what door closed, and see if that was Thystra, who's now out of sight, or Kasan, so I can be like, okay, well now I know we're there.
As you're like peeking around the corner, you can see what is obviously, seeing as how you see her directly close for Councilwoman Kasan walking away from where you currently are.
Okay, so I know where Thystra's office is, presumably, or whatever room Thystra
presumably.
went to. Okay.
Because you no longer see Thystra. Outside of that, you can see Councilwoman Kasan walking away. And you don't see any other council members.
I will follow her carefully.
Okay. The rest of you. Guards come into the chamber, and they say, "All right. During recess, we generally don't like to keep people in the hall here, so we're gonna ask you all to head on out to the courtyard. If you wouldn't mind." One of the guards looks over, is like, Wasn't there 5 in your group?" As they point over to all of you. They point at Loris and like, "Wasn't there 5 in your group?"
I
No.
believe she's using the. Yeah.
Is he talking about Charwin or no?
No, he's talking about Joe, who is currently. We could try the Charwood angle.
Yeah, just point. He's right there.
What was that?
Wasn't there 5 in your group?
Huh?
I'm gonna count the 4 of us and then Charwin, and then just act like it's nothing.
Oh yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5.
I'll
Do you say, "Oh yeah, 5" as you count Charlie?
I'll be like, yeah, there were
Yeah.
5.
Oh yeah, 5.
Yeah, I don't know where our 5th member went, to be totally honest with you.
Fucking Loris.
When the guard says, "All right, all of you can head out to the garden, please."
Aren't we gonna be taken to their chambers for an audience?
This is the chambers.
Are you looking to go to their private chambers?
Yes, I believe we have business to discuss. The particular councilwoman that tried to have me killed.
Arena looks at you and is like, "That right?" She says, "Oh no. That right there. That's a. Well, I mean, I guess it is in us to hold a bit of grudges, but I think we gotta wait on that one. I don't know if they're gonna allow us up to the chambers. Yeah.
I'm the personal envoy from the Ether Chemist Guild. Do you know what a bit of grudges means to your city in this situation?
Okay. Give me.
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah. Don't you know who I am? Give me an intimidation. Give me a.
I'm never gonna pass that.
Give me a 5-1. Just give me a 5-1.
Okay. If I pass this, it's hysterical. Ah, fuck. Not even close.
That guy looks at you, and he says, "Look, pal. All I gotta say here is, unless they call for you, I can't allow you to go up there. You understand?"
Alright. The remedy I'm gonna demand is growing.
Look, I can't help you with regards to your payment or anything. In fact, I hope you get paid.
I better be paid.
I hope you do.
I got a contract.
I have a contract too. They pay me, so they should pay you.
Yeah, I know. We're in agreement. I'm glad you're on my side.
All right. Well, Garland, see, help them out. Help them out to the courtyard.
It's my friend Charwind out there.
You all get to the door, and then Charwin stops at it, and he looks down. He's like, "Lo, I am beset by another threshold. How could I possibly cross it?" And then Garland just says, "Charwin, get over here." Interrupting him, he says, "And so I move on." As he crosses the threshold.
So it falls to me.
A chosen voice.
Okay. I think we can stop here because now I have to do some weird shit.
Gotta figure out what's happening to Joel and Orin.
Split the party.
Yeah, you split the party, and I wasn't expecting that, so I have to. These are like general stop time
You
anyway.
said it
so
was
now
dark.
What?
You said it was dark. You baited
It
me.
is dark. Look. I should have anticipated that you were going to do this.
Gave me orders and said it was dark. Easy.
I should have anticipated it, but also it's like near our stop time anyway, so
Yeah.
it's probably better to stop now than we get into another 30-minute conversation or something like that.
Anything else before we cut the stream?
No, I just need to take my notes.
Okay,
So you're
bye,
all
Twitch.
good.